Tension or uneven load or a low tire. Now I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna make sure there's no puddles, no oil, no coolant, no power steering, or any
Abel.
transmission fluid. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start with my headlight assemblies. I got my headlight properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. It is clean and clear, and they are used for high beams and low beams, and they are working properly. Now I got my turn signal lights where they are properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are present and tight. They're amber in color, and they are used for four-way flashers and turn signal lights, and they are working properly. I got my clearance lights. They're properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are present and tight. They're amber in color, and they are used for clearance, and they are working properly. I got my side marker light, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. It is amber in color, and they are used for four-way flashers and turn signal lights, and it is working properly. Now I'm gonna go ahead and open up my hood. Open up the other side, and then 3-point of contact.
I only see 2 points, Abel. Get that leg up.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start with my coolant reservoir and my power steering reservoir. They are both properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight, and they are filled up to the operating level, and I see no leaks, and they're held on with caps that are hand tight. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do my coolant hoses and my power steering hoses. They are both properly mounted and secured with clamps on both ends. Now been broke, cracked, no abrasions, no bubbles, no cuts, and no dry rods, and I see no leaks. Then I have my oil dipstick, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are present and tight. The way I would check it, I would take it out, wipe it off, put it back in, take it back out, make sure it's operating level. I put it back in, and I make sure I see no leaks. Then I got my airlines, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. Properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. No abrasions, no bubbles, no cuts, and no dry rods. And I hear no leaks. Then I got my air compressor, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. No illegal welds. And it is gear driven, and I hear no leaks. I got my steering shaft, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. No illegal welds, and it has no more than 10 degrees of play. Then I got my lower and upper U-joints, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. No illegal welds, and they are properly lubricated. Then I got my gearbox, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. No illegal welds, and I see no leaks. I got my pivot arm, my drag link, my upper and lower control arm, and my tie rod. They're all properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All castle nuts and cotter pins are all present and tight. No illegal welds. I got my leaf spring hangers, my front and my back. They are both properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. No illegal welds. I got my leaf springs themselves, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and U-bolts are all present and tight. No illegal welds, and they're not shifted, and they're properly aligned. Then I got my U-bolts, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. No illegal welds. This truck is not equipped with airbags, but if it was, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. No abrasions, no bubbles, no cuts, and no dry rods, and I hear no leaks. Then I got my shock absorber, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight to the upper and lower frame mount. No illegal welds, and I see no leaks. Then I got my brake lines. My brake lines, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. No abrasion, no bubbles, no cuts, and no dry rods, and I hear no leaks. And I got my ABS line that's properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked, and there's no bare wire showing. All right, the back of my rim, the back of my tires, I got my brake drums and my brake pads. They are both properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight, and there's no illegal welds. My brake pads has no less than 1/4 of brake pad materials, and my brake drum, there's no contaminant, no debris, no oil, or no grease. Then I have the in and outside of my rim, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight, no illegal welds. I got the in and outside of my tire wall, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. No abrasions, no bubbles, no cuts, no dry rods, and I hear no leak. And my tire is firmly seated to my rim. Then I got the top of my tire, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. Properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. No abrasions, no bubbles, no cuts, and no dry rods, and I hear no leaks. And then my tire is evenly worn, and it has no less than 30 seconds of tire tread, and it is a virgin tire. Then I got my lug nuts, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts are all present and tight. There's no metal shavings or no rust or any signs of looseness, and there's no illegal welds. Then I got my hub oil seal, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. There's no illegal welds, and it is filled up to the operating level, and I see no leaks. Then I have my metal valve stand, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. No illegal welds, and I hear no leaks. I will get my tire gauge and I will check it and make sure my tire has no less than 100 PSI. Now we're gonna go ahead and close it. Make sure always lock it. All right, I'm gonna do my side marker light again. Properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are present and tight. It is amber in color, and it is used for 4-way flashes and turn signal lights, and it is working properly. I got my driver mirror, my hood mirror, my passenger mirror. They're all properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are present and tight, and it is clean and clear, and they're adjusted to my view. I got my fuel tank. My fuel tank is properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are present and tight to the frame. No illegal welds, and I see no leaks, and it is that is up to the operating level. I got my fuel tank properly mounted, secured, not been broke, cracked. My chain, there's a chain and a seal under there, and the seal is no abrasion, no bubbles, no cuts, no dry rods, and my cap is hand tight. I see no leaks. Then I have my metal valve, fuel tank straps with seals. They're both properly mounted, secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight to the frame. No illegal welds, and the seals, no abrasion, no bubbles, no cuts, no dry rods. And then I have this truck is not equipped with a depth tank, but if it was, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. No illegal welds, and I see no leaks, and the cap is hand tight, and it is an operating level. Then I have my battery box, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. I see no leaks, and all my battery wires are all firmly seated, and no bare wire showing. Then I got my tractor frame, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight, and there's no illegal welds. This is for Class B right here. Keep going.
Class B.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna go to the back. I got my tractor tail lights. They're properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. They're red in color, and they are used for brake lights, 4-way flashers, and turn signal lights. Then I have my reverse light, properly mounted and secured, not been broke, cracked. All nuts and bolts are all present and tight. It is white in color, and it is used for reverse light, and it is working properly. And that right there will conclude my Class B right there. That's it. So that'll be it right there.
Oh. So you don't even get into the fifth wheel on it?
Huh?
On Class B, you don't even do the fifth wheel?
Nah, yeah, you don't do the fifth wheel. But you know what? Let's go ahead and go.